Bretonnian forces scored a victory against the Wood Elves in our last battle report as a fragile alliance was put to the test. The Wood Elves that escaped the battle have regrouped, and this time they have reinforcements. Larger numbers gather as the Bretonnians and Wood Elves face off for a second time as Miniature Game Montage presents the Old World. Alright, welcome back to MGM. I'm Jimmy, and I'll be your host for this Old World battle report. The Bretonnian forces did score a big victory over the Wood Elf realms in our last game, and they bring a similar force today, but this time they are led by a paladin on Pegasus. He has the Grail Vow and Virtue of Purity. Alongside him are 3 Pegasus Knights with the Knight's Vow, 20 men-at-arms with full command, 10 peasant bowmen with commander and light armor, 5 mounted yeomen with musician, feigned flight, and light armor, and 6 mounted Knights of the Realm with full command. Across the field, Wood Elf realms have a Branch Wraith, a level 1 wizard with spell Hammer Hand. She has an additional hand weapon. They have 2 units of 10 Dryad with nymphs, 10 Glaive Guard with full command and arcane bodkins, 5 War Dancers with a Blade Singer, and 3 Treekin with an Elder. Today, there'll be 2 objectives on the board, and holding these objectives at the end of each player's turn will score 10 victory points. We'll also be scoring points for enemies eliminated. I certainly thank you for watching our coverage of the Old World. Let me know your thoughts on the battle down below, and let's get to turn 1, where our story unfolds as the Bretonnians pray to the Lady and the Wood Elves seize the initiative. And in turn 1, the Treekin deployed at the center of the battlefield march forward towards the men-at-arms. Dryad on the Wood Elf left flank go to the rocks as they look down at the peasant bowmen. In the center right, a unit of Dryad takes position inside of the wooded area and claims the objective. Blade Dancers move forward alongside them, taking up cover in the trees. On the Wood Elf right flank, Glaive Guard take aim with their bows, hitting on 4s at long range, and land 3 hits. While 1 arrow penetrates the armor with arcane bodkins at AP2, the save is made. The turn concludes as the Bretonnians push their Pegasus Knights up the left flank. In the center, failing a fear test, the men-at-arms charge into the oncoming Dryad. Mounted yeomen right along behind them, looking to punch arrows into the oncoming Dryad. Knights of the Realm steam forward, wheeling slightly to the right, in an attempt to get the Dryad in the flank potentially on the next turn. Peasant bowmen open up with arrows, hitting 4 times, needing 5s into the oncoming Dryad. One of the arrows hits with Armor Bane. The Dryad will take a save on the non-Armor Bane and fail. Regen rolls are made and there will be 1 casualty. Mounted yeomen fire their short bows from horseback but need 6s. They do get a hit. It does cause a wound. The Dryad will fail an armor save and another is cut down. And now we move to our first combat as the men-at-arms attacking with their double-handed polearms should hit on 5s due to a failed fear test. Regardless, they are unable to cause any wounds as the Treekin fight back. The Treekin swing their mighty branches, hitting on 3s. With their above-average strength, they also hit on 3s, getting a great result. Light armor protects 1 man, but the front rank is decimated. They begin to stomp, causing 2 more wounds. 1 is saved, but 6 in total go down. The men-at-arms lose their nerve, failing their leadership test as they turn and flee 2d6. The Dryad catch and destroy them. And turn 1 comes to a close as the Wood Elves are going to secure both objectives, scoring 30 total points in that turn. The men-at-arms really needing to hold up there to potentially get a flank charge off from the Knights of the Realm. Battle plans must now be altered, however, as we get ready for turn 2, back to the Wood Elves. Dryad from the hill announce a charge into the bowmen, which is successful, but the bowmen will stand and fire. They need 6s to hit, and they all miss. They rank up to meet them. At the center of the board, Treekin then charge into mounted yeomen. And needing to see a 3 from the woods, the War Dancers charge into the cavalry. Glaive Guard are going to move ever so slightly as they look to take shots at the Pegasus. They score 1 hit but need 5s to wound, and they do not get it as we move to combat. The Dryad on the Wood Elf left flank attack the archers, needing 3s, and then they need 4s to wound, causing 4 casualties. Peasant Bowmen attempt to fight back, hitting on 4s, they get 3, they do wound on 5s, they get 1, the save is failed, and the regen is failed as they cut one of the Dryad down. The Bowmen will fall back in good order after passing their leadership test just barely on a 6 or less. As they flee, the Dryad are going to pursue and will continue the combat. And back towards the middle of the board, the mounted yeomen fail a fear check, and they'll be at +1 to hit against the Treekin. The Treekin launch a number of attacks, hitting on 3s and wounding on 3s. There are 6-up armor saves taken, but they are failed and 4 if the mounted yeomen are cut down. And unable to cause any damage against the Treekin, he does fail his morale and will flee 3 inches, while the Treekin are going to restrain themselves and reform. On the other side of the tree line, Knights of the Realm missed an opportunity to countercharge into the Blade Dancers. They are doing whirling blades to get AP2. 3 hits converts to 2 wounds, but even at AP2, 4s are needed and both shots are plinked off the armor. The noble Bretonnia Knights strike back, needing 4s. Not the best effort on this roll, but they do need 4s to wound. The Knights of the Realm cause 2 casualties as the Blade Dancers are going to fall back. As they fall back 5 inches, the Knights of the Realm continue their charge, following up into combat with them. And as the turn concludes, Bretonnians do elect to charge from their Pegasus Knights into the Glaive Guard. The Glaive Guard hit twice as they stand and shoot. There are no wounds, however, as the mighty Pegasus charge into combat. Back at the Bretonnian center, the mounted yeoman is going to rally. He is then going to pass leadership to March as he gallops away from the Treekin. As we move to combat on the Bretonnian right flank, the bowmen do pass a fear test as the Dryads lash out with their branches. They get 3 wounds as the bowmen attempt to fight back. And while 3 of the bowmen are cut down, they do land a wound against the Dryad, failing the armor save and failing the regen. With combat lost, the bowmen are going to fall back again in good order. The Dryad are going to follow up. At the center of the board, Knights of the Realm fight at the same time as the War Dancers as they hit on 4s. And wounding on 2s, they will cut the remaining Blade Dancers down as they dance to their whirling blades. The Blade Dancers hit on 3s, but do not cause any wounds. As they are cut down, the Knights of the Realm overrun them. The Knights surge forward into the Dryad awaiting them in the woods. As we look to the other side of the wood, the first Knight on a Pegasus only gets 1 hit, and it does convert to a wound. Alongside him, the Paladin gets 2 hits of his own and converts those to wounds. The noble Pegasus they ride on will land 1 hit and will not convert to a wound. The Glaive Guard achieve nothing by attacking back. As they fail morale, they do go off the board as the Knights restrain their flying mounts. As the Pegasus Knights turn in to face the Dryad, turn 2 comes to a close. And as we look at turn 2 results, the Bretonnians do have the lead right now, getting the points for destroying the War Dancers and the Glaive Guard. The Wood Elves do have 25% of that yeoman unit now counting to their damage. Turn 3 kicks off with the Treekin attempting to charge into the Knights of the Realm, needing to see a 5, and they just miss. In combat, the bowmen do fail fear as they face the Dryad, hitting on 3s and then wounding on 4s, and there's only 1. Not doing any damage back, the bowmen do flee off the board. The Dryad attempt to reform, but chase them off the board as well. Back at the Wood Elf center, a Branch Wraith does cast Hammer Hand. An attempt to dispel is no good. Hammer Hand results in 2d3 hits, which is 5 at Strength 4 and AP 2. With 3 wounds and 3 failed armor saves, 2 6-up ward saves are passed. The Knights hit with their lances, needing 4s, and then get 1 wound, and the regen will be failed. The Branch Wraith then launches 3 attacks into the Knights, hitting twice and getting a wound. While the armor save is failed, the ward save is good, and the lady is with these Knights. With no additional wounds caused from the horses or the Dryad do fail leadership, falling back as the Knights of the Realm continue their pursuit. Turn 3 concludes for the Wood Elves as we move over to Bretonnia and the exposed flank on the Dryad. A charge is announced from the Pegasus Knights as they eagerly get into combat. In the Bretonian backfield, a lone mounted yeoman takes a shot with his short bow, landing a hit into the treekin. This also does a wound, but the save is made. As we move to the combat phase, Hammer Hand will be cast, and it cannot be dispelled. The result is 4 hits, and that'll be 1 wound, needing 3s at Strength 4, and it's AP 2. Once again, the armor save is failed, but the ward save is converted. Now lances break against the branches, hitting on 4s, and only converting 1 wound. The regen roll is unsuccessful as the horses land 3 hits of their own, and that converts to 3 wounds. The Dryad convert their save as the mounted Pegasus Knights with their Paladin fight next. The Dryad are decimated at the hands of the Pegasus Knights, end up passing their morale, but they do flee off the board, where the Knights and the Pegasus are both going to reform. As the curtains draw on turn 3, we've got a good game. As the Bretonians are eliminating a lot of enemy units and not scoring much on the objectives, the Wood Elf realms are kind of doing both. The most expensive unit potentially about to collide in turn 4. And the Wood Elves start off, they need to see a 5 on this charge, which they get as they go into the Knights of the Realm. Dryad making their way back onto the board and doing a march. We now move to combat, where the Treekin are going to use Tree Whack. Initiative checks are taken, 2 are failed. D3 hits go out, there'll be 2 on one knight and 1 on another. And at Strength 4, 3s are going to be needed to wound. There will be 1, and there is no armor save, the ward save is failed. The other knight ends up taking 2 wounds and fails both ward saves, 2 knights taken down in that exchange. Attacks from the Treekin need 4, so he only gets 2, but he does wound on 3s. That converts to 2, but the armor saves are going to be made. The Knights move to attack and do land 4 hits, but they need 6s to wound at toughness 5. They do get 1, and it will be deflected off the branches. The horses attempt to cause some damage, hitting twice, kicking their hooves, but do not cause any wounds as the Treekin stomp. The stomps automatically hit, wounding on 3s. 3-up saves need to be made by the Knights, and 2 fail, 2 more are taken down. This time the ward saves can't save them, as they do pass morale, but falling back, they land on the Pegasus and end up running off the board as the Treekin follow up. And disaster strikes the Bretonian lines. As we move to their turn, the Pegasus turn to charge into the Treekin. They easily make it into combat, and we will move right to the combat phase to decide this one. Up first, the Paladin strikes, needing 3s. He gets 1. He does need 3s to wound, and does not get any. Now the first Knight strikes. He does get 2 hits, and that converts to 1 wound. A regen roll is going to fail, and one of the Treekin does take a wound as the remaining Knights attempt to strike next, but all of them are going to miss. Their flying mounts attempt to cause more damage while getting 4 hits. They do need 5s to wound and only get 1. And while the armor save is failed, a 5-up regen roll will be successful as the treekin start to use their tree wax. Initiative tests have to be taken, and one of them will be failed. That results in 2 hits, needing force to wound at strength 4. There will be a wound. Ward save on a 6-up is no good. Remaining attacks from the treekin come across. Hitting on force, there's only 1, but it will wound on force. That is good. The armor save is going to be failed on a 3+. The ward save on a 6+ will be good. The trees then begin to stomp as they cause 1 wound. The 3-up armor save is going to be made, however. And with turn 4 over, the score inches closer. We now look to turn 5 to settle this battle once and for all. It's going to come down to the Pegasus versus the treekin. The Paladin starts the battle by landing 2 hits, but he fails to wound. The flying Pegasus lashes out, biting and kicking, landing a lot of hits, and these hits needing 5s convert to a lot of wounds. The treekin do take a few wounds, 3 to be exact, but rolling for regen, and they get 2 of them, only 1 wound. The Pegasus Knights launch into an attack next, hitting twice, but no wounds. The first knight whiffs as well on his attacks as the treekin now look to deliver some punishment back. Their strikes land 4 hits. Those 4 hits then convert to 4 wounds. While the knights deflect 3 of their blows, 2 ward saves will be needed, and both will be failed as one of the Pegasus Knights goes down and another one takes a wound. The trees begin to stomp, wounding on 4s, and they get all of them, and the knights unfortunately lose another model. The Pegasus Knights do have to check for morale, which they do fail, rolling a 9, and they are flying off the board. Completely routed, the treekin pursue them, but do check up short before running off the table. And with that unit now off the board, the victory goes to the Wood Elves in this game, as the forces of Bretonnia only have 1 mounted yeoman still on the board. It was a crushing defeat for the Kingdom of Bretonnia as they could not quite get the treekin under control. The Wood Elves have bounced back with a sense of hatred in this one and will claim the victory today. Hey, I'd like to thank you so much for watching this battle report of the Old World. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. There will be more Old World to come, including some additional factions, so I hope you are enjoying it. Supporters Club, your names are on the screen now. Thank you so much for your support. That is by no means necessary. I ask for absolutely nothing. I always say if you've watched the video this far, you've done more than enough to support the channel, so thank you so much. We will see you in the next one. Take care.